let people sync up.
And you're ready to go.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to call our meeting to order. Today is September 29th, 2020. This is a business meeting of the North Kingstown School Committee. Pursuant to the governor's executive orders and the state of emergency due to COVID-19, we are conducting this meeting virtually. If I could ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
Republic,
which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Glassbog?
Here.
Mrs. Hildebrand?
Here.
Mrs. Hoskins?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Mather?
Here.
Mrs. Shaw? Joe Bento? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And if you could please call the calendar.
Monday, October 12th, 2020 is Columbus Day. Schools and offices are closed. Tuesday, October 13th is a school committee business meeting. Monday, October 19th is a professional day for staff and distance learning for all students. And Tuesday, October 27th, there's a school committee business meeting.
Thank you. Any presentations or recognitions, Dr. Ajay?
Yeah, we have a couple of recognitions. Dr. Natsir, would you like to begin with the art students?
Sure. So I had contacted Janice Strain, who is in Mia Thompson, the curriculum coordinators for art in our district. And last year, due to the coronavirus, we had some awards that were not able to be given. And she was able to update me, and she asked that they be recognized, and happily do that. So we had a Donate for Life. Gabriella Neves was awarded second place, and she was a junior at the time. She created a poster about organ and tissue donation awareness. Her entry was skilled, original, incorporated positive message about organ and tissue donation awareness. And again, we had the Lindy Ann Burke poster contest on the Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention poster contest. That was also Gabriella Neves on third place. She was a junior again at the time. She created a poster that brought about the awareness of domestic violence and abuse. So then we continue on down to the Scholastic Art Awards. Nicolette Goldstein received a silver key for her piece titled Dream State, as well as honorable mention for ignorance. Elena Menarek received honorable mention for a piece entitled Serenity. And Griffin Roby received honorable mention for his piece entitled Rise. Then we had the Celebrating Art published students. This is quite a long list, so it's Mark McDonald, Amelia Cormier, Allison Chu, Alexis Rohrbach, Gabriella Neves, Jack Randall, Gabriella Carnival, Caroline Hirsch, Olivia Wood, and then Sophia Della Selva and Caroline Hirsch both had 2 published pieces in this contest. It was a hardbound, full-colored book. It's professionally bound, 8.5 format, and will index each of the above students' name, grade, and state. CelebratingArt.com is devoted to the promotion and appreciation of student art. And that is it. So congratulations to all our wonderful North Kingstown artists.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I also want to, you know what, I'm going to save the rest of this for my superintendent's report. So, because it's more having to do with all the opening. So, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the student representative report. I don't see Mr. Vento in the meeting, so I'll have to put this off for now. If he comes in later, we'll see if we can revisit it, or we'll put it on for a later agenda. Next, we have citizens' comments. If there's anyone who would like to speak, you can use the raise your hand button, which you'll find under the participants tab of Zoom. I see 1 so far. And 2. All right, so I'm going to take these in the order in which they show up here. And what I always ask is if you could please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And also, please state your name and address for the record. So the first recognition is going to be to Kate Scott.
Wonderful. Thanks, everybody. Kate Scott, 10 Jasmine Circle in Saunderstown. Thank you again for all of the work that was done on distance learning. I can't say it enough how amazing our teachers are. We are not in the Quidnessett district, but the teachers we have from Quid are amazing. Knowing that, though, I wonder what will happen come February. I get that it's only almost October, Friday is October, 4 months away, and who knows where the world is going to take us. But I just wonder what we can do to keep the distance learning kids part of their home school. It was a challenge to get the kids into their picture day today, which I personally brought up to our principal several times. And I will continue to push for things like that, involving them in holiday or special event things. My children should not be disincluded or, not allowed to attend things or not thought of as a part of events because we chose to have them as distance learning. If anything, in-person parents should recognize us as distance learning parents and say, hey, thanks. You reduced the number of kids we have in our classroom. And so now there are 24 first graders in every class. There's only 19. Yay! I love being home with my kids. We know it's not forever, thank God. But for now, it's perfect. I wonder what will happen come February, assuming everybody is not distance learning and assuming we can get back to as normal as possible. I just hope that some thought is starting to be put into what will happen. Again, thank you for what was put into place, and thank you to the teachers that were selected. Ms. Lauren Anicelli from Quidnessett for first grade, and Ms. Kristen Beeman Rhodes from Quidnessett fourth grade. Again, they're amazing teachers. But I just wish a little more planning had gone into what will happen, as well as substitutes. One of my kids has been without a teacher for a couple of days. Fine, I get that it happens. But where is that teacher's support to have the substitute? She has enough going on. She doesn't need to worry about my kids. Where's her support? And I want to make sure those distance learning teachers have the support that the in-person teachers do. Because to me, they're extra amazing. So thank you again. I appreciate everything you've done. I love our teachers. And thank you.
Thank you. Next person just says Lisa.
Hi, my name is Lisa Olivet. I live at 135 West Ellington Road. I also have DL students too, and I guess my main concern along with Katie is that we have been emailing the school committee and Dr. Ajay multiple times trying to find out when you guys will start be planning for our students to be coming back in the fall or in the spring. And so far, there has been nothing. No one has addressed it. No one has brought up any information. Everything is just wait. And I feel like we cannot keep waiting until last minute when we're procrastinating right now and we have the time right now. I'm also a little bit concerned that so many school choice children have been allowed into the schools. I know that it has been addressed with Dr. Ajay, and he has said that he will keep allowing students to have school choice until their cap is met at 29 students. I kind of feel like this is irresponsible for us, along with the fact that our students come the spring will not have a home to go into, and if they are placed into other schools, maybe they won't have a home to go into other schools as well, since so many students have been moved around. So, one, I want to know who's monitoring, along with Phil, how many students are being let in for school choice. Why school choice children are going from classrooms that maybe have a lower number to classrooms that have higher numbers, and why we aren't stopping this. And I get that everybody wants to be happy and have their kids in a certain location for school choice, but I'm being selfish. Where's my Hamilton student going to go if so many students have been allowed into Hamilton already? We've been told that school choice children will not be pushed back to their original schools, and so does that mean my Hamilton students have to be pushed into a different school because school choice children have been let in? I understand that no one can answer these questions right now, next meeting, but I do expect to have some answers soon. Like, why aren't these things being addressed? So, and again, just like Kate, my teachers are amazing in distance learning. Thank you guys so much, but I do hope that someone starts addressing these issues plans are starting and something happens, something starts the ball rolling. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, those are the only hands that I see. I'll wait a moment and see if there's, oh, wait, we got one more, Pam Panero, so I'll recognize you.
Pam Panero, 710 Slocum Road. My two kids are doing in-person at Hamilton, and I think everything's going great. They've had a great start to the year, so I thank you for that. It's been an adjustment, but I also appreciate their teachers, Mrs. Shamarian and Mrs. DeWardner. They've done a great job. My only feedback is the HEPA filters, which I get, we need them, I want them, but they are loud, so I don't know if there's anything that can be done about that. I know one of them is behind near one of my kids, and he's having a little concentration problem. But he's adjusting. I just didn't know if there are any options. I don't know much about them, but I just wanted to bring it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, don't see any other hands. I'll wait another moment just to see if there's anybody else who wanted a chance to speak. And I don't see any. All right, so I'm going to end citizens' comments at this point. And I noticed Joe Vento is in the room. We had gone past your agenda items, so I give you the opportunity to speak on it now as long as no members have an objection. Okay?
Yep, I'm
Are
here.
you there?
Sorry about the delay.
Okay. That's okay. So item F, student representative report. You are on.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to take this time to thank Dr. Ajay, Dr. Mansiri, Dr. Morris, Mr. Anderson, Dr. Finkelstein, Ms. DeLuca, and all of our teachers and staff for their hard work. While there are plenty of kinks to work out, we're understanding of the tremendous challenges that face our school department over the spring and summer, and we're glad that we've got what we've got so far. As far as the beginning of the year goes, I'm pleased to report that the Student Union had our first meeting of the year last Thursday. At this meeting, we were able to go through some of our goals for the upcoming year. Relevant to the school committee and central administration at this time would be the desire to see more flexibility provided in the transition between distance learning and in-person learning. As you may know, this was something that we advocated for in the later summer. The second item on this report has to do with a request from the school committee back in February to survey students on potential upgrades to the media center. And I'm pleased to report that we are collecting data on that survey currently, and we should have some results over to you by the next school committee meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Dr. Ajay.
Thank you. I just wanted to use my comments tonight to talk about, fall athletics. There have been a lot of questions about that. I think a lot of our athletes know what's going on, especially those who are engaged in playing, but maybe the rest of the community not so much. So for the fall 2020 season, we have field hockey, boys and girls soccer, boys and girls cross country, and girls tennis are playing. Tryouts have been completed and the teams have been selected. Game schedules and practice schedules are being confirmed and posted for both JV and varsity teams. Boys and girls cross country and girls tennis races and matches begin this weekend, and boys and girls cross country Saturday versus Rogers and Proud, and girls tennis against Moses Brown JV at noon, varsity at 2. And the boys and girls soccer and field hockey matches begin next weekend. For the fans, this is an important item. We have 2 parents per player from both schools, and they must be socially distanced and wear a mask when they come to a game. Working to have home matches and games live streamed as much as we can. We also have NKD Booster Club. They have masks for sale, so that's a good fundraiser for them as well. Couple of shout outs. One to Coach Brian Garapi for girls volleyball. He's always been a very successful coach. He has been named the 2019-20 Girls Volleyball Coach of the Year. Congratulations to him. Brian is also a teacher of 5th grade at Forest Park Elementary. And girls tennis coach Tim O'Neill has also been named the 2019 Boys Tennis Coach of the Year. So congratulations to both of them. The program is still thriving, and glad to see that we're playing to some extent. I know that in the Legion Scholastic League is also considering, what they're going to do in winter sports. I think a lot depends obviously on the coronavirus and to what extent we are experiencing it. But they're looking into, what sports will run in the winter, including to what extent middle school sports will run. Right now there are none that are running for middle school. So I also want to take the opportunity, we have an item on the agenda tonight about face mask policy to make an adjustment on that. And I will post whatever adjustment occurs tomorrow, and I will update our FAQs. So some of the questions that have been coming, I will take an opportunity to clarify some of these items. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you very much. Next, we've reached our routine items, so I'd ask for a motion to seal the executive session minutes of September 29th, 2020.
So moved.
A motion from Ms. Hildebrand.
Second.
Second from Mr. Mather. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously, and I can disclose that no votes were taken in this evening's executive session. Do any members have any items they'd like to exempt from the consent agenda?
Yep, I do. It looks like Bob does too.
All right, sorry, Ms. Hildebrand?
F1.
Okay. And Mr. Jones?
D1.
D1. Any others?
D3, please.
D3. Any others? Okay, then I'd ask for a motion to approve the non-exempted consent agenda items. Motion from Ms. Hoskins.
Second.
Second from Ms. Hildebrand. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. So the first exempted item is item D1. First, if I could get a motion to approve item D1.
Motion to approve item D1.
Motion from Mr. Jones. Second from Ms. Hoskins. Discussion. Jones, I think you exempt.
Yeah, I just wanted to give the administration a chance just to explain exactly what this item is and what it will enable the district to do.
Dr. Mansur, you want this one? You're muted.
I'm always trying to make sure. Alright. Yes, sorry. So really what, prior to having Edmentum, we had Edgenuity, and Edgenuity is a software program. If a student at the high school or middle school were having problems or falling behind and they needed to recruit credits, the guidance counselors could potentially put the students on Edgenuity, and they could make up their credits towards graduation. And it's always been dealing mostly with with remediation. So we've had it for a few years, and it happens often with some of these software programs. Prior to that, there was another one, and the students are not doing it with fidelity, or the teachers are not doing it with fidelity for whatever reason. It's one that's lost its way with North Kingstown. There's other districts out there that Edgenuity is becoming what they're using right now for fall teaching. So our newest assistant principal at the high school did some really good research, and she had contacted other schools to see what they were using. And it turns out this Edmentum is something that we definitely wanted to try. Not only was the course selection a lot higher, but there was quite a few CTE courses, which now everybody knows that North Kingstown has quite a few CTE classes. Prior to that, with Edgenuity, for example, if there was some kind of an elective for math, the most you could get was like a half a semester finance class. And in your package, you had the list of classes that are available for electives and for math. And it's pretty incredible just the difference in the menu of classes. So while primarily it'll be used for remediation the same way, they are, if there's a student, let's say that wants to take a class, and not in our program of studies, or maybe, but it's on their pathway, something that they want to do, and we can't afford the opportunity through a classroom, it might be something that they could talk to their guidance counselor, and because we have a certain amount of licenses, we could offer the class through the school during the school day, during the PLT time. And also what they've decided to do is to have a particular teacher trained, so that way it is being used with fidelity. And everybody is following the proper process, and students are getting their credits. And that's it. And it actually came in a little bit over $1,000 lower than the prior budget. So that's really an additional.
Anything that we can. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion. D1, any other discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. The next executive item was item D3. If I could start with a motion to approve item D3.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Mather. Second from Ms. Hildebrand. Discussion.
I just wanted a clarification. This is an extension of the $51,000 a month COVID cleaning fee, or the additional ABM cleaning fee, from October through December. I just want to clarify or make sure that we're still on a month-to-month basis with this, and we can cancel at any time. And this is just, so if Mary, you could speak to that for just a second. I don't want to approve $153,000 in cleaning fees if we can't cancel it whenever we want, or whenever we need to, if we need to.
Yes, we have a contract addendum with ABM, and we can cancel it at any time. So if for any reason we don't need to do the enhanced cleaning anymore, we would cancel it and just owe them whatever we had accumulated to that fee.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? And we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. And next is item F1. If again I could start with a motion to approve item F1.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Mather.
Second.
Second for Ms. Hildebrand. And discussion.
So this was the police detail for the schools. I think we even talked about at the last meeting that we were going to see how everything went. I'm just wondering if we can have a little bit of an update on that, because I see that we're not requesting police details for all of the schools moving forward, and just wondering how that decision was made and how the traffic flow seems to be working.
Yeah, I can give you an update on that. So for the first week of school, actually the first 2 weeks of school, we had worked with the town manager, and we were going to have detail at 8 of our schools. Davisville Academy did not need it because of the smaller size of the school. As we got through the first week, and we did that out of an abundance of caution, we didn't really know what the traffic pattern was going to look like at all of the schools. After the first week, we realized that at Quinnesset Elementary School, Forest Park, Davisville Middle School, and I'm missing, I think that's it. We did not need those because...
Like Fishing Cove, too.
Fishing Cove, right. Drop-off and dismissal had gone relatively smoothly. There was no backup and no issues, so working with the chief of police and Captain Barry, we decided that we would drop at those schools. I mean, obviously, we can certainly pick up again if there are any issues, but it wasn't deemed that those were necessary. The 4 schools that are in front of you, we have deemed are very necessary. So the high school, morning and afternoon, definitely need detail. Hamilton Elementary School for the afternoon pickup. Mike Waterman and I have attended 2 of those dismissals, and they've gotten a lot better, but it's a dangerous area. People are coming in and leaving onto Boston Neck Road, so that absolutely is needed. Whitford Middle School, in the afternoon, there's a few minutes of a backup onto those roads over that way, and it's deemed that we need some support there. And Stony Lane Elementary School. Even though Mike Waterman and I also attended one dismissal at Stony Lane, and even though Stony Lane has a very long driveway into the school, when it's parent pickup in the afternoon, it starts to back up pretty quickly onto Stony Lane. And we know that that's a dangerous situation because people coming around that corner off of that bridge, they're right there. So those schools right now, we definitely believe we need the coverage for. We really enjoyed the partnership with the town manager and Chief of Police Flanagan. But those, I don't see those going away. And we can evaluate them and review them at any time and cancel them or add whatever we need to. But those are definites right now.
Okay, that was one of my questions too, was, are we able to change if things change? I don't know what might change. We might have more drivers getting their license at the high school and more cars going in there throughout the year, or things like that, so we can update it as we go.
Absolutely. The police have been very flexible. And again, if we find out that, Fishing Cove starts having more parent pickups or drop-offs, or any of the other ones, we can certainly add them. The principal knows they can reach out to Dr. J, Dr. Mansieri, or me, or Mike Waterman with any concerns that they have.
I just want to clarify something. Mary, I don't know, but you said, so it looks like the only school that doesn't have both arrival and dismissal is going to be Whitford Middle. Hamilton says it's got arrival and dismissal. Stone Lane arrival and dismissal, and North Kingston High School is arrival and dismissal. Am I correct? I just want to make sure.
The way the details work, the details are 4-hour minimum. So what we plan on doing in the morning is we definitely need at the high school, and then we will have them go over to support Hamilton and go over to Stony Lane. So that will use up their 4 hours, and the support will be there at all those schools, but it's the high school that really needs that support. In the afternoon, we're going to do something even more of a split to effectively use the 4-hour detail and the two officers that we'll have. We'll have 2 officers starting at the high school. One officer will split off and begin ensuring that traffic is controlled on Boston Neck Road for Hamilton, and one will pop over to Whitford Middle School because it's only a very few minutes at the beginning of that dismissal that they start backing up on those roads. That officer will complete that and then come over and wrap up Hamilton, and then both officers will go to Stony Lane Elementary School. So basically what will happen at Hamilton and Stony Lane is there will be an officer on the main road, so whether that be Stony Lane or Boston Neck, and then an officer down in and around the school, making sure that, the cars and their safety there, along with the staff members that help at dismissal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If not, we have a motion and a second, so all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Okay, next we have item H, which is the approval of enhanced resources from South County Health. Dr. J, who would be best to just give a quick explanation of that for us?
Mrs. King.
Yes, absolutely. So this grant funding is additional funding to our Office of Family Learning for COVID expenses. And attached in your packet is part of the anticipated budget for those expenses. And they're going to need to have that spending down by December 31st. But they're very excited to get started with some of the flexibility this gives them with some additional monies. They have additional expenses as well, just like we do, so this stretches their grant out a little further.
Thank you. If I could get a motion to approve item H. The motion from Ms. Hoskins.
Second.
Second from Mr. Mather. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. For unfinished business, anything on the 2019-20 school budget?
Nope,
2021 school budget?
nope,
The IP existing bond and future bond?
nope.
Okay, and next we have item D1. So just, I'm going to do just a quick explanation, and some of the administration chime in after if you need to, but I did a little work on this one too. So what we have before us is, it's just a tweak. There's nothing substantially changing in our mask policy. All the basic rules you have to wear, none of that's changing. Masks are there, all that's the same. What we needed to do is we realized that as some of the guidance from the CDC and Department of Health work on this policy was done, we realized that the rules on what a good mask is or a good face covering, they were changed. And we wanted to make sure that the administration has the authority to make essentially regulations to go along with our policy. So we're saying, yes, they have to wear masks, and we're allowing the administration to determine what kinds of masks are acceptable based on the guidelines that they're getting from the Department of Health and CDC. And, a classic example of that is, if you remember at the very beginning of mask wearing, people were saying, even if you throw a bandana over your face, that does it. And then after some research and studies, they realized, no, actually that makes things worse, so you don't want to be wearing a bandana. It's that type of. Dr. Jacob.
That essentially covers it. So I anticipate in the next few days we will put some tighter guidelines on, what's acceptable and what's not, based on the Department of Health. It's not because we have a personal opinion about it, it's because the Department of Health is telling us.
So if I could get a motion to approve item D1. Ms. Hoskins, is that a motion? Okay, motion.
Thank you.
A second, Mr. Mather. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. After that, we just have our disposal notification report. Any questions on anything there? Then our financial reports, I will just make the note that I always make, which is that our reports are put out very regularly. They are very detailed, and Mrs. King, if you could, make sure that those get distributed appropriately. Any questions on those from members of the school committee? All right, then if not, we have reached the end of our agenda, so I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion for Mr. Mather? Second for Ms. Hoskins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you all for watching. Thanks. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
everybody. Good night.
Bye.